What's up, Weebos? Welcome back to the Weeboo podcast. We are the Weebs out of office. Chris and Pat here. This is episode 10 of season 3. I guess we're recording this podcast at an unusual time compared to all our other podcasts because we're recording this on Friday. And the reason why we're recording this on Friday this week is because there's a huge event in the US on Sunday called the Super Bowl. Are you excited for the Super Bowl, Pat?
No. Let's get it right. Let's get it right, Chris. Sundays are when AOT and Demon Slayer come out.
Is Demon Slayer Sunday, AOT Sunday?
So that's the big day of the week in the US right now.
It's actually going to be a big day in that regard because Demon Slayer is coming out with their final episodes of the season, 45 minutes long. The conclusion to the Entertainment District arc, which a lot of people have liked so far. Are you looking forward to that? Are you going to be sad that Demon Slayer is going to end? / are you even going to have time to watch it on Sunday, considering we have the Super Bowl for most of the day?
We'll find time. We always find time. There's always time for Nezuko.
Yeah, I really want to watch it on Sunday because this show has been very good. I just want to finish it at this point. But I'm not a big Super Bowl guy. I don't think you are. I'm pretty sure we're just going so we could have an excuse to drink on a Sunday evening. But for those people that don't know what the Super Bowl is and don't live in the US, it's like a football championship, not soccer football, American football championship. It's always a big deal in the US. Everyone comes together. We'll stay safe in terms of COVID and social distancing, but that's how it goes on Sunday. So that's why we're recording this on Friday. Therefore, we will not be giving any insight on the Demon Slayer or AOT episodes coming out this week.
I'm sure everyone wants a change of pace too. It's probably what everyone's talking about in every podcast, everything anime related. Demon Slayer and AOT.
Yeah, it's true. We've talked about it for the last 2 episodes too. One full episode on AOT and then basically one full episode on Demon Slayer at this point. So we've covered it a lot. I think this time for this week, what I wanted to go through, or there's a couple of topics we want to go through, but the first thing I wanted to go through was the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. They just released the 2021 winners, and I haven't looked at them because I wanted to do like a live reaction with you, and I'm guessing you haven't looked at them for the most part. Have you had a chance to see them, or is this going to be your first time?
This is going to be my first time. I'm excited. Let's get into it.
We spent like a lot of time already going through the nominees, so I don't know if we need to talk about it a whole lot in terms of each category, but we could give our takes as we go through them. But starting from the top, or wait, should I start from the top? Should I go from anime of the year, or should I leave that to the end?
Yeah, let's go from the bottom. Let's go from.
All right. We'll go from the bottom. We'll go backwards. We're starting with best film. There's like best VA performance in like infinite languages, but I don't really want to click through all that. So I'm just gonna start with best film.
There we go.
All right, best film of 2021. Do you have any guesses?
Was Demon Slayer on there?
Yeah, Demon Slayer was on there.
Yeah, I'm going with Demon Slayer.
All right, yeah, it's Demon Slayer. It's Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, the movie, Mugen Train. The other nominees that we talked about previously were Bell, Evangelion 3.0, 1.0, Josie the Tiger and the Fish, Shirobako the movie, and Words Bubble Up Like a Soda Pop. I don't think this is really a surprise to both of us, right? So I don't know if we need to talk about this.
Yeah, we can just keep going on.
All right. That was best film. Now we're going to go into the genre. So best comedy. I think what I voted for was Komi here, so I'm hoping Komi wins.
That is indeed what you voted for.
The best comedy pick is Komi Can't Communicate
by
Studio OLM.
We're 2 for 2.
All right. We take those. The other nominations were Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro, which I haven't watched, but I've heard mixed reviews on it. And Heaven's Design Team is another show. Life Lessons with Uramichi Onyii-san, which I don't know. Miss Kobayashi-san's Dragon Maid S, and then Odd Taxi, which I don't even think is a comedy. So, all right, best fantasy. Best fantasy. I'm hoping Mushoku won, but it's fine if it didn't. The best fantasy winner went to The Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime Season 2.
What did I vote for?
You voted for Ranking of Kings.
Oh. Interesting.
This is actually pretty bad, I think, because the nominees for Best Fantasy are Mushoku Tensei, Ranking of Kings, The Case Study of Vanitas, To Your Eternity, and Wonder Egg Priority. And if I look at this list, I think 3 of these are better than Slime. But obviously, I haven't watched Slime. So what's your thoughts on this?
Slime was good. It wasn't the greatest season though. I didn't like the last season. I thought that kind of took it down a pretty big chunk in my list. Anyways, I guess people Slime's a popular show, so I see why there's a lot of fans out there, but I don't think it's better than some of those.
Yeah, this is I feel like 2 of these shows got outright disrespected because I do think Mushoku Tensei and To Your Eternity are both really, really good. And when we did like the 2021 list, I put both of them in my, I think, top 3. And if they didn't win this, I don't even think To Your Eternity was in any other category. I think Mushoku Tensei was in one more. Ranking of Kings is in a few other ones. So that has a chance still, but this was basically their only chances of winning anything, and it did not. So sucks, but it is what it is. All right, best action. I wonder what's going to win best action. I really wonder. Best
tough
action.
Question.
Yeah, tough question. Best action winner is. Oh shit! It's Jujutsu Kaisen Core 2.
Did I vote for that?
I think you did because I voted for AOT.
Oh, I definitely didn't vote for AOT.
Just default. The other picks were Attack on Titan Final Season Part 1, Demon Slayer, Mugen Train Arc, SSSS Dyna Xenon, which I don't know what that is, Vivi, which we both said isn't really an action, and Wonder Egg Priority. But I thought for sure Attack on Titan was going to win by default here, but I guess there's a lot of Jujutsu fans. I'm happy Jujutsu won.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. We don't need no AOT.
All right, no AOT. Yeah, we don't want the AOT dominance, but all right, that's a good surprise. All right, best drama. Here we go. Oh shit! Best drama winner, To Your Eternity.
All right, this man's gotta filter out his cussing over here. I'm just kidding.
This is great. This is great. To Your Eternity deserves a win. The other best dramas were 86, Fruits Basket, the final season, which is a bit sad because maybe this is the only category that Fruits Basket had a chance of winning. Kageki Shoujo, Odd Taxi, and Wonder Egg Priority again. So I'm kind of surprised that To Your Eternity actually won because I thought 86 would here.
Yeah, that's interesting. I would have thought that too.
Yeah, there's a lot of 86 fans, so kind of crazy. But again, like Fruits Basket might not have an opportunity to win anything now because they just lost this category. Maybe the best romance category. Maybe they do win that one. So, all right, the next one is best romance. So, the best romance anime of 2021 is Horimiya. I'm shook.
That's a good vote.
They actually voted correctly. Bless. The other categories or the other nominees were Beastars, Fruits Basket, the final season. So I think that's the end of Fruits Basket. Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro, which isn't really a romance, I don't think. Komi Can't Communicate, and The Duke of Death and His Maid, which I'm not sure what that is, but Horimiya is another Cloverworks show, dude. A lot of Cloverworks that you gotta watch.
Hey, Cloverworks. That's 3 Cloverworks I gotta catch up on then.
Yeah, that's a lot. All right. We have Now those were all the genres, so we're kind of going into either scenes or like character related things. The best fight scene of 2021 was
Jujutsu.
Yuji Itadori and Aoi Todo versus Hanami from Jujutsu Kaisen Core 2, which
There we
is
go.
actually again so kind of surprising because I think AOT was in here with the Warhammer fight, and I thought Warhammer would win, but I guess there's a lot
No,
of
shut
Jujutsu
up,
fans.
sir. Shut up, sir. AOT is not the GOAT. That scene
No.
is no, that seems bad.
I voted for this one. I voted for Yuji Itadori and Aoi Todo versus Hanami, but I thought for sure that there's just AOT stands out there that would just shoot the score of AOT up.
AOT is not the GOAT.
We regained our listeners after our Demon Slayer podcast, and now we have lost all our listeners once again. Sad.
It's
But-
okay. It's okay.
Hey, Jujutsu Kaisen is beating AOT kind of consistently so far. Great stuff. All right. Best antagonist. All right. Best antagonist is Eren Yeager.
No, I mean, yeah, I could see that, I guess.
Well, that ended very quickly. The other nominees were Tomura Shiragaki from My Hero Academia, Echidna from ReZero, Teta Kisaki from Tokyo Revengers, Ainosuke Shindo from Skate to Infinity, and Yano from Odd Taxi. Kind of sad that Yano didn't win. Great antagonist. All right, best protagonist.
It better not be Eren Yeager. Better not be Eren Yeager.
If it's Eren Yeager, do we just rage quit the podcast and end
Yeah,
it here?
I'm gonna end it right now. See you guys
All right,
next
best
week.
protagonist is Odokawa from Odd Taxi.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow. Your homie Bochi didn't make it, but
It's all right. It's all right.
the other nominees for best protagonist were Eren Yeager, Yuji Itadori, Joe from Megalobox 2, Ai Oto from Wonder Egg Priority, and Bochi from Ranking of Kings. Pretty surprising that Yuji doesn't win this because of how dominant Jutsu has been up to this point.
That is a bit surprising. Maybe people were a bit sad that he couldn't save his friend. Oops, spoiler alert.
Sad. Do you think that Ranking of Kings doesn't get votes because people haven't watched it because they can't binge it right now?
Possibly. That's a hard one. I mean, it's not something you would watch either unless it was very hyped up. And I don't think it had too much hype, in end of last year.
Yeah, kind of interesting because Bochi as a protagonist is really good. Odokawa is also very good, obviously, because Odd Taxi is a really good show. But I'm wondering if Ranking of Kings just kind of gets the bad end of the stick here because people can't finish the show right now.
I think there's some truth to that, and it just wasn't as popular, I think, throughout its first initial, 10 episodes.
True. All right, best character design. The winner of best character design in 2021 is Tadashi Hiramatsu for Jujutsu Kaisen Core 2. Interesting. You think character design in Jujutsu Kaisen is really good?
It's pretty good. I mean, every character is very likable in that sense. I mean, there's no one that you would hate or feel like they got lazy on, I feel like.
That's true. It does feel a little, I don't know, traditional shonen-y in a sense. I don't know how it's that much more different than a typical shonen character design. But the other options were Odd Taxi, which is all animals, Skate to Infinity, Ranking of Kings, Vivi, and then Wonder Egg Priority. I thought the character design of Vivi and Wonder Egg Priority were better, but probably a lot less people have watched either of the two.
Yeah, I feel like for sure not as many people would have watched the others.
All right. Best Director. The winner for Best Director is Baku Kinoshita from Odd Taxi. Attack on
Odd
Titan didn't
Taxi's
win.
doing well.
Yeah, Odd Taxi is doing pretty good.
I think I'm feeling pretty justified right now about my comments in this AOT episode.
This is actually kind of surprising because Jujutsu Kaisen is dominating again. And then Odd Taxi has won 2 things, which is a good sign, to be honest with you. The other director nominees were the AOT, Jujutsu Kaisen, Wonder Egg, Megalobox 2, and Sunny Boy directors. which this very much resembles like the Anime of the Year nominees. So, but I'm glad they appreciate the directing that's in Odd Taxi, because the directing in Odd Taxi is significantly better than all the other ones.
Right.
All right, best score. Who's winning best score? 81?
81, baby. I think I chose Vivi in the vote, though.
Yeah.
But
All right. The winner best score is... Oh, God. Oh, God. It's Demon Slayer. It's Demon Slayer Mugen Train arc. How?
I mean, they had a movie budget. I mean, I guess.
They literally have like no score. It's the same score from season 1. Oh, pain. Okay. Well, the other nominees were 86, Megalobox, Vivi, Odd Taxi, and One Direct Priority. I think Vivi just didn't win a single thing, which kind of blows.
That's unfortunate.
Vivi should definitely go down as something that people should remember from 2021. So it's unfortunate.
That is very unfortunate.
All right, Best Girl. Winner of Best Girl is...
Vladilena Melize.
Nobara Kugisaki from Jujutsu Kaisen Core 2.
All right, this is absurd. This is absurd.
What? Really?
There's a lot of Jujutsu fans in the world.
There's too many Jujutsu fans.
No
What?
hate, but Nobuda should not win. I like her, but she shouldn't win.
The other options were Vladilena Melize from 86, Toru Honda from Fruits Basket, Sarasa Watanabe from Kageki Shoujo, Shoko Komi from Komi Can't Communicate, and Ai Oto from One Direct Priority. I'm kind of shocked. I understand 86 not winning because she disappears in the entire second half. But Toru Honda and Komi not winning is kind of surprising to me.
They clearly just don't have the fan base. Those options, I think, for the average viewer, they would have only heard of Nobuda Kugisaki.
This is literally just a volume issue, huh?
Maybe. We'll see. If Jujutsu wins another, it's a volume issue, probably.
All right. Best boy. The winner of Best Boy is Bochi from Ranking of Kings.
Oh my goodness.
What
They literally
the hell?
took the word boy very, very literal.
Wait, I'm shook. I'm shook. Bochi beat out Senku from Dr. Stone, Izumi Miyamura from Horimiya, Odokawa from Odd Taxi, Doraken from Tokyo Revengers, and Mikey from Tokyo Revengers.
I think we should have flipped the protagonist in the boy categories.
I'm kind of shocked because Izumi Miyamura from Horimiya is like clearly the best like looking guy, and a lot of girls would like him. And then the Tokyo Revengers guys are just sick, man.
I guess Bochi's just that strong, man. He's got that many followers.
He's good. I do agree with you that he is a good protagonist. I don't know about best boy. I guess.
Interesting.
Very interesting. All right, best ending sequence. I don't even remember what the nominees were, but best ending sequence winner is... God, I don't even know what song it is. Shirogane by Lisa from Demon Slayer.
Was that one that good?
I don't think it's good. I personally don't think Shirogane is good at all.
All right.
These votes are starting to get really sus. The other options were Shogeki from Attack on Titan, which is great. The Beastars ending by Yoasobi. Nai Nai from Shadow's House. I don't know what that is. Infinity by Skate the Infinity. I thought Infinity was a really good song too. And then Gambare Kumoko-san from So I'm a Spider, So What? I don't really care about that. But at this point, I think people are just voting for whatever show they know. And they just voted for Demon Slayer. All right, best opening sequence. The winner is Boku no Senso from Attack on Titan Final Season Part 1. That doesn't really surprise me.
Oh no, are we coming on to the AOT awards? Is it going to be top heavy AOT?
Well, it's obviously turned into the Shounen Award. So let's see. AOT has 1 win. Demon Slayer has 1. Demon Slayer has 2, Juice has 1, 2, AOT has 2, Juice has 3, Demon Slayer has Juice has 4, Demon Slayer has 3. Okay, so AOT has 2 wins, Juice has 4 wins, and Demon Slayer has 3.
All right, 9 wins, 9 Shounen Awards.
Yeah, out of like 13 categories, of which like 4 of them they couldn't even win in because they were like best romance or best comedy. So what? All right, well, the other nominees for best opening sequence were Cry Baby for Tokyo Revengers, which is what you voted for, Odd Taxi from Odd Taxi, Vivid Vice from Jujutsu Kaisen, Kaibutsu from Beastars, and then I Know Supreme from Miss Kobayashi-san's Dragon Maid.
Music's subjective. I'm okay with it. Music is subjective.
Yeah, it's fine. People are just clicking whatever they know, so that's fine. All right, best animation. Best animation. The winner for best animation is, and we continue. Wait, do you remember what you said about best animation?
What were the choices?
You thought that Kobayashi-san's Dragon Maid S or One Direct Priority might win.
I did. Yes, that's right. That's right.
The choices were Kobayashi-san's Dragon Maid, Vivi, One Direct Priority, Mushoku Tensei, Jujutsu Kaisen Core 2, and Demon Slayer Mugen Train Arc. The winner was Demon Slayer Mugen Train Arc.
That's right. I remember saying I shouldn't count it because it had a movie budget.
I hate these awards, man.
But 2022's best animation is probably gonna be Demon Slayer too.
I fucking hate these awards. We're literally gonna see the same thing in 2022. Except
Next week's
without
episode,
Jujutsu Kaisen.
We'll do the same thing for 2022 next week.
Do we even need to have this? Do we even need to have this for 2022? We don't need to have the anime awards for 2022.
Probably not.
We should just cancel it.
We should just send out the awards now. They should just say for 2021 plus 2022.
Just save everyone else's time. You know, everyone that's a staff at Crunchyroll doesn't even need to think of nominees. Just put AOT and Demon Slayer as every single choice. Those are the results anyways, no matter what happens. In the end, this is actually true because Demon Slayer and AOT is going to be in almost every single category, and then Chainsaw Man's going to come out, and then Chainsaw Man's just going to replace Jujutsu Kaisen. And then that's literally just going to be the 3 shows that are voted for over and over and over again. Nice.
Sounds fun. It's okay. Just got to embrace it.
All right. Any bets for anime of the year? I know what it is already. The options are 86, AOT, Jujutsu Kaisen, Odd Taxi, Ranking of Kings, and Sunny Boy, your favorite.
So in my defense, I did go watch the rest of Sunny Boy this week because I was like, what if it's anime of the year? I was like, I can't have a podcast and not have said I watched it.
You actually watched it all?
So I sat through it. I watched it all. I had no idea what happened. I watched 3 YouTube videos on explanations, and I still have no idea what I watched. So at this point, I'm just convinced. People on YouTube are saying this is a very intricate. It's very deep. Talks about how in life you. I was just like, no. People are pulling things out of their ass at this point. I was like, no. I tried. I tried. So no.
I mean, I'm shocked that you even went back and then put yourself through that in order to watch the rest of Sunny Boy, because I cannot get myself to like watch that no matter what.
It was bad. I thought that's why you canceled our Funimation license, because you saw that I watched Sunny Boy and you're like, this man's done. He's not my friend anymore. It's over.
On record, I guess I did not do that. I did not even know you watched Sunny Boy. I was just like going through the Funimation list of anime that were coming out this winter, and I was like, is there anything good coming out this winter? No, there's not, compared to like Crunchyroll. And even Crunchyroll doesn't have a whole lot, right? They have the same 2 anime that are out, AOT and Demon Slayer, that is good, and that's pretty much it. So I was just like, I'm canceling it. There's no reason for me to use this terrible UI and stay subscribed to the platform when they're not giving me better stuff.
Fair. Fair. I thought it was for Sunny Boy, but I guess coming back, I know I voted for 86, but based off this entire ranking of awards, I already know 86 didn't win. There's just no way. There's no way. So it's got to be Jujutsu or AOT.
The winner of the anime of the year for 2021 and will probably be the winner of the year in anime or winner for anime of the year in 2022 is Attack on Titan final season. A very anticlimactic ending.
That hurts my soul.
All right. Well, that wraps it up. I'll go through it all from top to bottom to summarize it for everyone. The anime of the year winner is Attack on Titan final season. Best animation winner, Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, Mugen Train arc. Best opening sequence winner, Boku no Senso from Attack on Titan final season part 1. Best ending sequence winner, Shirogane by Lisa from Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, Mugen Train arc. Best boy winner, Bochi from Ranking of Kings. Best girl winner, Nowara Kugisaki from Jujutsu Kaisen. Best score winner, Yuki Kajiura and Go Shina from Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, Mugen Train arc. Best director winner, Baku Kinoshita from Odd Taxi. Best character design winner, Tadashi Hiramatsu from Jujutsu Kaisen. Best protagonist winner, Odakawa from Odd Taxi. Best antagonist winner, Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan final season. Best fight scene winner, Jujutsu Kaisen. Best romance, Horimiya. Best drama, Tear Eternity. Best action, Jujutsu Kaisen. Best fantasy, The Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Best comedy, Komi Can't Communicate. And best film winner, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, the Mugen Train arc. Well, that rounds it up.
Thanks for joining everyone for the 2021 Shounen Awards. See you guys next
this
year.
wasn't 2022? I thought this was a 2022 winners.
Oh, really? Oh, man, must be.
Oh, shit.
Must have lost track of time.
Oh, sorry. I for sure thought this was a 2022 winners. I thought we just canceled the whole season of 2022 already.
Oh, time flies when you're in the hyperbolic time chamber of Shounen and Isekai.
Apparently. It's actually interesting because for some reason, Best Action was Jujutsu Kaisen and they beat AOT, but then Anime of the Year, AOT beat Jujutsu Kaisen. So I don't know what the logic is there because they're pretty much in the same category, but I guess it just played out that way.
Man, I don't get it. AOT, huh?
There was a total of, all right, let's see, 14 18 categories. And I think AOT, Demon Slayer, and Jujutsu Kaisen had around 12 of those. So
that is quite impressive.
Yeah, and the remaining ones that they were not qualified or that they did not win, or they were basically not qualified for, like over half of them. So the ones they qualified for, they won, which is wild, but not that wild.
Dominance. This is the era. This is the dominant era of anime.
All right. Well, we could reach out to Crunchyroll, talk to some staff, let them know that they don't need to do the 2022 Anime Awards, so it saves all their employees some time. They can all go take some vacation, enjoy their lives, get some nice work-life balance. And we'll see everyone in 2023.
Thanks for joining, everyone. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the listens.
All right. Well, now that that's over and talking about kind of the Crunchyroll employees and their work lifestyle, what I wanted to kind of talk about for this podcast was actually stuff that's related to work, because I realized that we call ourselves a Weebs out of office and say that we're corporate individuals during the daytime, but we never talk about our corporate lives. And I feel like people can actually relate to our corporate lives, because people that probably listen to our podcast are probably working a regular 9 to 5 like we do. Or I guess in your case, at 9 to 5 a.m. And I just want to ask you some questions here, but how, I guess like when you were growing up and then you were watching a lot of anime, right? Like, did that have any influence on how you kind of shaped your dreams and just like what you wanted to do with your life? Or did it have like no impact at all, really?
Oh, all I remember watching is just like Dragon Ball Z and like Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't know if I dreamed of any of that in my life,
It
but
was sometimes like you watch a bunch of shonens and then you see like the drive and their, I guess, determination, and it like helps you get through some rough patches in terms of studying or something. So
I
could
think
happen.
I think the only time anime helped me in life was Hell Week in sports in high school. It's probably the only my saving grace.
Do you think those hell weeks actually help you now?
Uh, you mean mental fortitude or like
Yeah, yeah.
actual? Oh, a bit, a bit. I pushed myself so hard. I think we all, every kid who's going through sports and is fighting for a position or a spot on the roster, I think that type of drive and determination is something that's hard to come across again. And I think that's why people enjoy playing sports. You know, it gives them that sense of like something to look forward to and reach for. I mean, at work, like you don't think of a promotion the same way as you did like I need that spot on the starting five. You know, that determination is way different from I want to get promoted, I want to get more money. So, I guess for some people who are doing a startup, that might be a similar drive. Some people, you know, they find themselves in that position where they're just really trying to grind, and you know, props to those people. It's a lot of hard work to keep yourself determined every day. But for me, I think the only time I can remember is, you know, just in sports and you know, pushing myself through Hell Week and saying like, I can do this. Like, this isn't bad. And actually, I would like think of just scenes in anime in my head while like running because I was like, I didn't take my mind off. I was like, this sucks. I was like, I need to think of something. And you know, you can't listen to music while like when we work out nowadays. Like everyone listens to music, but you can't do that in like high school, right? So it's like you got to keep your mind busy if you want to. You know, once you start thinking like, oh, I have another like few laps on this track, you're done.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because I was thinking about this the other day because there's instances where I'm at my job where I feel like I have an advantage in terms of, I guess, mental fortitude and just mental, I don't know. I don't know what the word is, but like sturdiness almost, that I feel like we only got because we went through something as intense as a hell week. And to your point, like we kind of talked about this in other podcasts, but like we kind of played certain sports, or we like imagined ourselves going through like a Super Saiyan moment in our respective sports or whatever when we were growing up. Do you, if you had like a kid or like later on in your life, would you make them go through the same thing? Because Hell Week's kind of intense, like, but at the same time, I feel like we've gained an advantage at least in terms of our work lives.
I mean, that has definitely helped me. I think when in college, you know, I was studying a lot, and I would have those like all nighters. Like, I think I pulled all nighters like once a week for a long time.
Why?
Oh, dude, school's crazy. School's crazy. For all those listening who are thinking about doing chemical engineering, honestly, I don't know. Brace
Was it
yourself.
was that because the chemical engineering program was intense, or more so because you were partying outside?
It is so intense at Berkeley. It's like crazy intense. And you know, I always thought of like life as the triangle. You got sleep, you got socials, and you got school. And you only can choose two. So in college I chose socials and school. And sleep was sacrificed.
Good
Now I have
choices.
friends who you know, they were brilliant people and they were able to sleep 8 hours, they were able to have fun and not study. So fortunately, some of us are not blessed like that. So I think of that as, you know, just in sports, there are those people who they don't need to practice. They can go play another sport like water polo, come onto the basketball court and, you know, still beat you. And you're just like, dude, this guy's been swimming for like 3 months. He comes on the land and just destroys me. Like, what the heck? Like, what is going on over here? Sometimes it's not fair, but I guess that's life.
That is indeed life.
But the one time I did break my, you know, my fastest time I ever recorded. I still remember it was not that fast for most people, but for me it was very fast. It was a 6:11, and
That's pretty fast.
the day I hit that was when the water polo people came to practice, and I was like, "Oh hell no! I'm gonna run as fast as I can." I'm not gonna let myself let up. I gotta make sure I can beat someone who has not run a mile in literally like 3 months. Um, and yeah, that mental determination I think went a long way. Which I mean, to your point, I think does help you in your job. You know, sometimes you're just grinding. You're like, you got a project, you got a deadline coming up, and you're just like, you know what? Just gotta focus. Just gotta put my mind to this, and it doesn't matter how long it's gonna take. I know what I need to do, and I'm just gonna go. And you just keep going and going and going. Next thing you know, it's like 3 a.m. and you're like, well, that took me forever, but you get it done. Versus
Yeah.
like, you can't just like, I guess the bad thing about a job, right, is you can't just give up. You can't just, I mean, I guess you could just quit, but no,
Yeah.
most of the time you can't just like say, I'm just not gonna do it. Like I don't have enough time. I can't get it done.
Hey, quitting's an option, man. Everyone always has a choice. But I guess the reason why I ask is in a lot of shonens we watch, right? A lot of these main characters go through kind of this mental wall almost where there's a point where they're faced or they're either faced with a big problem that they feel that they can't solve, or they're fighting against an opponent that they think that they can't beat, but they kind of break through this like mental barrier in a sense and then overcome the obstacle. And that's just like a typical shonen formula thing, right? And I feel like that's something that came with like our sports, for example, like when you talked about running a mile against the water polo players, right? There's a point like maybe they're faster than you, they're in front of you, and you think you're gonna lose, but then you kind of break this like mental barrier, and then
You
end
go in
up,
the zone, right? I always think of Kuroko
yeah,
no Basket. You're in the
yeah.
zone.
There's so many instances where I think about Kuroko no Basket because I'm just like, oh, I'm for sure in the zone right now, and then I'll miss my next shot, and I'll be like, wait, this isn't how I pictured my life to be. I was like, I was for sure supposed to make that. If I was in Kuroko, I would make that.
Okay, I
But
think there are like times in your life, like whether that's sports, beer pong, I don't know, playing poker, blackjack. It's like that whole fallacy, right? The hot hand fallacy, where it's like you're on fire. You can't. Nothing's going wrong. But I feel like the moment you start thinking, once you realize you're on fire, it's over. Like that's how you know it ended. Usually you're unconscious, right? And
yeah,
I think that's like the whole thing with anime, right? It's almost like that unconscious scene where the protagonist like stops remembering and just goes berserk, and then he wakes up. He's like, "Oh, what just happened?" And then everyone in front of him's gone or like destroyed or defeated. But life actually kind of works like that. I mean, it doesn't matter what you're doing, but there are times where you go unconscious. Sometimes even driving too, right? You get home and you're like, "How'd I get home?"
okay. I think the driving thing is a little bit different. I think we just doze off and we just forget because we get stuck in like basically like our thought processes and whatnot. But I want to kind of go back to your point that you like studied chemical engineering and then had to go through all that. Was there anything that influenced you? So I guess like to pick chemical engineering, and what I mean by that, and kind of going back to my first question of like, did anime ever influence you in terms of like what you wanted to do with your life? I back in the day watched a J drama called The Good Luck, and I made you watch it as well. And it's about a pilot, um, and this like pilot's like super cool. Like he lives his life like traveling the world, like solving a lot of people's problems, etc. And it just seemed like a fun life to me. So I always wanted to be a pilot growing up. When I told my mom that when I was like 17 years old, she shot that idea down real quick. And that's why I'm not a pilot and am a regular salaryman now. But was there anything you watched or something that like triggered that? Or is it just like, I'm just going to do it? I want to be like Senku.
If Doctor Stone had come out when I was in high school and I had seen it, I might have like been, very gung ho about chemical engineering. I didn't do any research. I just chose it because I had fun in those
YOLO.
classes in high school, which is a terrible reason. But honestly, like as a high school kid, how do you even know what you want to do, right? I mean, but unless you're saying like, yeah, you've seen something in a show or in real life, and you're just like, oh, that's really cool. I want to do it. And some people know, some people don't. I didn't know. I just chose it. In anime, though, I don't know if there was a specific moment that really just, made me think about like my future, I would say. It was probably just more along the lines of it was just enjoyable, and I would always reference back or use it as a break when I was going through a hard time. But I don't think it really gave me ideas to like do a certain thing. Like I know you said, growing up, Prince of Tennis kind of got you into tennis. I don't know if I really had a moment like that. I
Yeah.
just kind of liked it. I never had that like that moment where I was just like, this is really cool. I want to do what I'm watching right now.
Yeah, because I think going back to your point about Dr. Stone, I think there's a lot of anime out there right now where anime could potentially influence, I guess, the younger audience into thinking something is really cool, and then they go out and do it with their, I guess, like with their own lives. So, for example, like Dr. Stone, right? Like the scientific aspect of it, maybe kids will want to do more science projects, more want to be able to study that in college, etc. And then maybe Dr. Stone influences them to do that. There's other shows, obviously, like Haikyuu, where it's more, I guess, like it's more easily applicable. So like if you're in high school or like going to high school, there's a volleyball team and you want to try out and you want to try to learn how to play volleyball because you watch Haikyuu and it looked really cool. Like that's another thing too. But then there's other things like Shokugeki where it's just cooking, right? And it just can potentially inspire someone to learn how to cook or become a good chef, not necessarily in a restaurant, but like just at home and then feed other people or their families. I feel like there's a lot of anime out there right now that could potentially do that. But the thing that's interesting to me, at least, is all these things take place in a high school or a younger person's point of view or perspective. So Shokugeki takes place in high school. Haikyuu obviously is a high school volleyball team. Dr. Stone, the dude is like in what, middle school or high school when he gets transported to the Stone World. Why do you think it's always in this like high school setting, even though it's something that could easily be translated to like a job?
I think anime just, I mean, the category is shonen, right?
Yeah, but there's also like seinen, which is like a little older category. I think that's like something like JoJo, where the main character is a bit older. So there are categories out there that aren't just shonen that could cover it. Drama, romance,
I don't know.
comedy.
Yeah, I'm not. I guess I don't really know why it's always a younger male or younger time in life that anime portrays. And maybe that's just, no hate, but like the bad stereotypes that surround, the working life in Japan. Because almost all isekai start as an older character who then goes back in time either through death or through
Right.
some supernatural phenomena to a younger point. And in isekai, like, yeah, it's in another world, but it's almost like the whole remake our life scenario of like giving yourself another chance to like not end up how you did. Because honestly, all anime does is really portray working life as like terrible. And it's not great. But there are moments, like for those listening, that, work has its bright moments, and you really say like, this was worth it, I think. There's always an I think. There's always an I think. Doesn't matter what a promotion, a bonus, winning a project, closing a project, getting a nice pat on the back. There's always an I think. Like, oh, I did good, I think.
It's all perspective at the end, but yeah, you made a good point, because this was another thing I want to talk about for isekai specifically. Every single person that gets transported back that's older than like the age of 25 gets transported either as a baby or like extremely young, and then they relive their life. Someone like Subaru in ReZero transports back just like as his normal self because he's already like 14 or 15ish, right? Like he's already at a younger point in his life still.
Right.
So he doesn't reset, but all these older people, that's like Mushoku Tensei, World's Finest Assassin, right? They already lived out kind of their adulthood, and they're reliving basically their like shonen period where they're younger again. And I feel like it's partially because the work life, to be honest with you, isn't all that glamorous, right? Like you do the same thing 9 to 5, you go through like a routine, and it's a way for Japanese adults, I think, to kind of get away and then go back to a period in time where they could either dream about something. So like maybe they dreamt of making it to the major leagues in baseball, or becoming a professional gamer, or becoming a like superhero in some regard. And I feel like that's what it is, where like it provides an outlet or an escape for these workers to go back to a period in time where they were actually like dreaming of something bigger and more grand with their life. That sounds kind of sad, but
That sounds really freaking sad. Um, I have a question. Would you say the average, like the main population of anime viewers, is actually in the high school, college, or after college
that's
category?
hard actually. I would have to guess it's either in the high school or college, or right after college age. So maybe like if I had to put like a number on it, somewhere between like 14 to 24 is probably where a majority of the audience is.
Because it's funny when I think. I mean, when I think about myself, right? And maybe like for you as well. We were so busy in high school doing activities outside of our house. I mean, granted, with COVID, that changed things, but most of the time we were not inside the house. And I don't know, we didn't always have like as easily access to like electronics as we do now. If we were playing like at home, we were usually playing games or something, right? And I never really resorted to anime too often in high school. It was after high school that I really got into it, which was already past the age of, usually the protagonists or the characters in an anime. So that's actually kind of interesting that you're bringing up this point that most of the main characters are in their like 14 through, I don't know, 16-year age.
Yeah, yeah. I agree, because I didn't watch anime during high school, and that might be because like in the US at the time it was just regarded as something like geeky or weeby, and it was just not widely accepted, right? But if I went to school in Japan, and from what I've seen in Japan, I think a lot of high school students actually watch anime and they're very much into it. Um, because it's just normal there, right? I see a lot of high school students, or just students in general, in like Akihabara, trying to buy the next thing or shop for specific like anime goods for their favorite characters and whatnot. So in Japan, it's probably significantly different than the US, but now that the US has become more accepting of anime, the the population might be changing a bit. So it is a bit interesting and something, I guess, to keep an eye out for. But do you think more shows should be taking place in the lives of people that are older? Like, would it even be interesting to see like 22-year olds plus going through certain things in life in the anime format? I can't even think of many shows that even do that. Remake Our Life is probably like the closest thing.
I don't know. That's actually kind of tough. I don't think that's going to be a common theme, right? I mean, it doesn't seem like it would be something that's popular amongst like a majority of the population that does watch anime.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's something that would work, to be honest with you. But for me, I go through these dry periods where I just can't relate to anything in anime at some point. So that's why I resort to like dramas or J dramas, because I'd like to see kind of like the relatability from like a corporate environment. And at least, especially for me, because I worked in like a Japanese corporate environment for a couple of years, it was just very much easier for me to relate to the scenarios that the characters were going through, because I was seeing it in my daily life. And I think maybe you can relate to that as well, because you work with clients in Asia. Yeah, I don't know if I would really enjoy seeing it in a 2D format though.
There's something about like seeing a drama and like a real life person that I think speaks differently to you about an anime. And most of the time, anime are, I mean, I don't know. I think you can relate to, if it was the same plot, right? You'd be able to relate to human emotion probably more than an anime, which, of course, I'm not saying it's not possible, because there are anime that can convey emotion very well, and that probably better than most dramas. But I think for like a average film, I mean, seeing another like human being or a real person portraying that emotion of a story, usually can speak through to you a bit more than an anime, unless you're really digging deep, right? And I think that's why like all the Asian dramas are just they're so popular right now because people can relate, like you're saying. Where versus like anime, like yeah, most of these topics they're not too life relatable right now. And that no one has really like gone out of the way and like taken something that's more serious and really done it well. Back in the day, right? Like Steins Gate, Death Note, they're a little bit older, right? I mean, Death Note maybe still a little young in terms of the age, but those are a bit of an older style animes, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know how old the characters are in like Code Geass, but I'm
Code
just
Geass
think.
is high school.
Okay,
Yeah, but Steins Gate is post high school.
yeah, Steins Gate's a post high school. I'm trying to think of what are some other ones, but
Yeah, like I can't even think of
nowadays,
any.
yeah, nowadays it's definitely a bit younger.
Yeah, but I think like there are some things because I'm watching Tokyo Revengers right now. It does feel a little older than like a high school setting to some degree. At least like the scenes where he doesn't like flash time travel back, right?
Right.
There's like more mature things that are discussed, like people saying like I wish I did this when I was younger. I wish I lived out my life this way. I have regrets about X, Y, and Z. Why didn't I do this, etc. Like that is how I guess like I feel Japanese kind of Japanese people kind of perceive life when they get older. Like they look back and they're like, oh, I wish I could have done this. And then that's why they watch these animes because in your 15, like your teenage years, you're not thinking that because you have the rest of your life ahead of you, right? So something like Tokyo Revengers was really interesting to me while I was watching it because there's a blend of scenes from high school where um, Mikey, Doraken, Takemichi, and everyone is kind of living out their youth. But then there's scenes like in their once they reach their adulthood, post college, post high school life, where they're kind of looking back at their life and they're just looking at it a bit pessimistically, and that's why I thought it was pretty interesting.
So, do you think that that's the feel that a lot of these directors in anime are going for to like make people resonate with like the feeling of like, oh, I don't want to say regret, but maybe the feeling of reminiscing on what.
I think it's the opportunity of having a second chance. And I'm gonna use Mushoku Tensei as an example because the main character is absolute garbage in the sense that like when he first starts the show, right, he's your traditional like perverted isekai main character who doesn't know like social cues, objectifies people, etc. But he was given the second opportunity to basically live out a more not just happy life, but a a better life in terms of how he treated others and how he treated the people around him. And I think like that's kind of what these directors and story or the writers are going for because a lot of these people that are in their 40s and 50s, we all go through a lot of shit, right? Like whether it be like we hurt another human being or we do something in our own lives where we're not where we have regrets like of how we went about it, we made the wrong decisions in X, Y, and Z scenario. But this guy has an opportunity to fix all that in his second life, and I think that's where the appeal is really, because it's gonna be something that none of us will ever be able to experience, right? We can never live out a second life. So seeing it on screen and seeing it in a fantasy world or seeing it in a more appealing setting is pretty eye catching.
That's so strange that you would think that all these shows, it's just depressing when you say it like that. I don't know how else I would think about it.
It's pretty depressing. I think it's I didn't mean for this topic to be depressing at all. I was like, this is just a natural flow of how the conversation has gone. I didn't even think about this till we were kind of talking about it right now. But a lot of, I think, these isekais that are tailored in that way are targeted for a market like that. And but not every shonen is like that, right? Like shonen is can appeal to a wider range of an audience. It's not just like I wish I could do that kind of thing. Like it's just pure entertainment too, right? Demon Slayer is very entertaining. So it's, I think, more so the time traveling stuff or the isekai stuff that gets a little dark.
I wonder if that's like the some like hidden meaning of all these isekai is really just like to appeal to both the younger generation as well as the older generation. I wonder if that's why they're so popular.
Well, I don't think isekai. Okay, so there's like the two types that we were kind of just talking about, right? Like with ReZero, I think can appeal to a lot of like a wider audience, but I do think like something like The World's Finest Assassin appeals to like 22-year-olds and older, or Mushoku Tensei appeals to like 22-year-olds and older. I don't really see like a 12-year-old or a 14-year-old like relating to those stories or just understanding kind of the growth that the characters go through living out a second life and redoing it all. I just don't really see that unless they just really love the fantasy aspect of it.
Yeah, I guess that's true. There are some shows that you can clearly tell that they are directed towards an older audience. But going off of that, do you enjoy those types of shows now? Do you find yourself enjoying those more than, something more geared towards a younger audience, such as like Demon Slayer? Like, do you find Mushoku Tensei, more not entertaining, but more, I don't know, relatable or enjoy, or like, I don't know, hits you a different type of way? Do you feel that because it's maybe geared a bit older?
I think there's shows like that. Like, isn't Remake Our Life like that for you?
Yeah, it kind of is. It kind of reaches a different thought process for me. Like, I think about it differently than I would a Demon Slayer or an AOT. And not because it's like not one, it's like more realistic, but it's still not realistic at the same time. But two, it's just, I don't know, when you see those types of stories, it does make you sometimes think back. And I think anime does it a lot. There are a lot of scenes across various anime and various genres that doesn't matter what the common is or what the scene is. They'll throw in a reference or something, and you'll just think about it. And you'll think about it for a while, actually, probably past the episode, and you'll realize it maybe a week or two later that why that scene was so impactful for you. And maybe that's just like a lot of TV in general. I don't know. That's just something people don't always realize when they're watching anime, is that I think there are a lot of references to a lot of different age groups. And they are hidden, right, in a lot of anime. But you can find it in almost all sorts of anime. It's just how much are you paying attention, and does the anime first of all even interest you to the point that you're like really trying to dig deep.
Yeah, because I kind of go monkey brain when I'm watching like Demon Slayer. I'm like, oh yeah, pretty lights, oh pretty colors, it's lit, and then that's just how it is. But I personally like more darker, like thought provoking shows, and just being able to relate to kind of the thought process that the character is going through. So something like Remake Our Life, in theory, if had it been executed a little bit better, like I would have loved that show, just because I do think there's a lot of people that could kind of relate to that, and I guarantee every single person has one point in their life where they had a split decision and they probably, looking back at it, made the wrong call, right? Like, obviously we're all not perfect. We're going to make wrong decisions at some point in our life. That's just normal. But Remake Our Life basically gives you a chance and opportunity to relive that life, which is never a chance and opportunity we would have now, or like in the real world. So something like that is like super appealing to me. And that's the same with Mushoku Tensei, because even though the guy is like complete scum at the start of the show, there is development where he gradually changes in terms of like how he is like combating his fears, how he's like going from this antisocial human being trying to live out like a second life to fix all that. Like something like that is a lot more appealing to me because it's just not something that we can ever do, but it basically plants the idea of what would it look like if we ever had a chance to do that.
Man, you got me all thinking now about like, oh, would I go back and redo like one moment in my life if I was given that chance to? And if I did, what would that moment be? Oh man, now I'm all up in my thoughts.
Yeah, because it's
But
there's a lot of choices too. Because something like Tokyo Revengers is like you were like some event triggered you to go back, right? Like losing his love interest from high school, like triggered his want and desire to go back to fix things. That's just kind of the same thing as Steins Gate, right? When he's going through all the time traveling, he wants to fix one event that kind of happened. But obviously, with any time traveling show, you got to do it multiple times to fix what's happening. But Remake Our Life is a little different, where there isn't a specific event that triggers his thought process to travel back in time. It's just his life has developed gradually and gradually into something he doesn't enjoy. And he knows at what point, like, where was it that everything changed, where his life was taking course to end up in this like dark area.
all right. Okay, well, let me ask you a question. Do you like your job?
I don't know if I like it.
But I mean, but do you? I mean, to hate it enough, to hate a job enough, right? To say, I wish I went back in time to like never end up in this position. That's very strong of a statement.
I'm gonna sound like kind of privileged, or like I would sound privileged if I said I would do whatever it takes in order to not get back to this position, because I don't hate my job, but I obviously work a lot more than probably the average worker. But at the same time, like it's not like I'm getting lowballed in terms of my salary and stuff like that. Like I'm still making a decent amount of money, so it's not like I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I'm not living comfortably, etc. Like if I was in that scenario, then I would say, yeah, I would do whatever it takes to get out of that position. The one thing I would say though is I think there were numerous opportunities at some point in my life where if I tried a little bit harder, or if I just took the first step to try doing something and just not worry about the risks and I guess the consequences that are associated with the decision, then I could have had a chance at some point to be doing something I actually really enjoy. And that's where I'm at. And it's pretty similar to the main character Remake Our Life, right? Like he's not at a terrible spot, but he's just in like this comfortable like normal spot. But he had the opportunity to do something much greater and much bigger. And all this might be hindsight, right? This is probably just me thinking this way because I know everything that I know now. So it might be different like in the moment. Even if I went back in time, I don't know if I didn't have the knowledge I had now, like if I was sent back in time, I would probably just end up making the same decision, which would be unfortunate. But how about you? Do you want to go back to change anything, or would you go back to change anything?
I don't know. I mean, it's a hard question that I do think about every once in a while. But I mean, I guess all of the hardships that I guess everyone goes through to where we all are today. I mean, it helps define you. Of course, like you said, there are moments that you have regrets, and everyone has regrets. I mean, I have plenty of times where I think about like a specific moment in my life where I'm just like, damn, if I could change that, I would have changed that. I would have done that differently. And who knows if that would have made my life different. But like, those are those lingering memories that you're just like, yikes, I wish that went different.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Like maybe anime is a way to just get away from those real life like thoughts sometimes. And maybe sometimes it's the trigger for them. So I don't know if I would ever go back in time, but I think I would want to talk to like a younger self. Actually, like it would make me want to like what anime does is it makes me want to like write to my future self almost. Kind of like how the whole Violet Evergarden, like when she found the letters like of the past. I was like, oh man, that's like really touching. I was like, I wonder if I wrote letters to my future self. What would I write? What would I write in them? Would I write what anime I'm watching right now?
It's never too late, man. It's never too late to start.
Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll put a time capsule. I'll copy the rankings of my anime list and see how they hold up in 50 years.
You know, you can always just screenshot that and just save it, right?
No. It's much more meaningful these days to write it down.
We have technology now where you could literally screenshot things and save it over a long period of time in the cloud.
No such thing. The cloud is lost forever. No one knows what goes on in the cloud.
Okay, then. Yeah, I mean, like, I think in the end, right, it's... I don't think I ever regret anything. It's more so like it would have been fun to have other opportunities, I think. And maybe that just goes back to like having more time. But to be honest, like in the US, we are very lucky where we're able to kind of just do whatever we want at any point in our lives. It's like never too late, right? To take a leap of faith. Like we could still open up a coffee shop, you know? It's still a viable option. And people in other countries don't have the opportunity. So we always have the time to do it.
Sometimes you just got to take that leap of faith.
All right. So when's the Weeboo podcast coffee shop opening?
2025. See you all for the grand opening.
We could do live recordings there.
Soft opening of the Weeboo coffee shop. Coffee roasters and anime toasters. 2025.
Sick.
See you guys then.
I want my own coffee beans.
All right, we'll have to start roasting. We'll have to start learning the trade.
Dude, we could name the coffee beans based off of anime. Dark like Death Note.
The Eren Yeager. Could be good, could be bad. You don't know.
You won't know the roast. You won't know how it tastes. It's just you gotta just take a gamble. All right, well that's everything I pretty much had for our discussion. I didn't expect this to be such a depressing last 15 minutes or so. So hopefully I didn't depress anyone from this. Any closing thoughts from you, Pat? Anything you're looking forward to this week besides Demon Slayer and AOT Sunday?
I've been watching this anime called The Genius Prince's Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt. Honestly, it's pretty fun.
All right, you're banished from this podcast. We lost
our
listeners again.
It moved up the rankings this week. I think it's a number 6. I think it's time to maybe consider it.
Is this Funimation only?
It might be Funimation only.
Oh my god.
It might be one of the best things on Funimation.
Is it better than Sunny Boy?
Oh, it's way better than Sunny Boy.
Oh no. All right. Well, I'm not watching Isekai, but we will be watching AOT and Demon Slayer.
It's not an Isekai. Sunday. It's not an Isekai.
Oh, it's not an Isekai?
It's not an Isekai.
What is it?
Just like fantasy.
What?
It's watch one episode. Just watch that.
Wait. It's a fantasy story that's talking about how to get a country out of debt? That sounds boring, bro.
You should watch it. It's kind of funny.
That sounds boring.
It's time for you to give it a try. All right, if you don't watch it by next week, one episode, you're banished.
Hey, you owe me like 5 Cloverwork shows.
I'll watch My Dress Up Darling if you watch an episode.
All right, I'll watch one.
All right, perfect.
We have nothing else to watch, and Demon Slayer's ending.
All right, sounds good. Good plan, team.
Until then, Weeboos, thank you for listening to another one of our episodes, and see you guys next week. Peace out, Weeboos.
Peace.